Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my 3 takeaways episode from the Nick Shaw interview that I just posted this past Monday. That one was one of the most fun interviews for me because I felt like me and him are so similar in the sense that obviously we love fitness. He owns his own health and fitness company, and it's doing super well. They help hundreds of thousands of people across the entire world. You guys need to make sure you go check out Renaissance Periodization, some awesome stuff that they've got going on over there. But also, he's super into discipline and other areas of getting closer to the best version of myself, which is exactly where I found myself like a few years ago when I was just in fitness, and I was like, I'm so much more interested in a lot of different areas in terms of how we can get closer to the best version of ourselves, which is why I started Best You, so I could branch out of solely fitness and start discovering all these other ways and interviewing all these people in terms of how we can get closer to the best version of ourselves. So we have very similar interests. We hit it off, and I just know that we're going to continue to connect down the road in the future and potentially do some awesome things together. So if you guys did not listen to the interview with Nick Shaw, you need to make sure you go back and listen to it. It was freaking awesome. Some awesome stories and some awesome takeaways that I'm getting ready to share here today. But before I get into those takeaways, if you're not subscribing to my Monday Motivation Trio newsletter, you need to make sure you do so right now, because every single Monday I send a motivational quote, an inspiring video, and a badass workout to start your week off with a bang. I don't know about you, but I love motivational quotes because it's something so easy that you can read. It's so quick and easy, and it can lift your motivation. It can lift your energy so quickly, and you can relate to so many of them. And so I, every single week, pick out one of my favorite quotes that I've ever seen, ever read, and I talk about it in an inspiring video, and I say what my takeaway is, how we can apply it into this upcoming week so we can get closer to the best version of ourselves. So make sure you go to nickcarrier.com/111-newsletter to start subscribing to the Monday Motivation Trio. Again, nickcarrier.com/111-newsletter. Without further ado, let's get right into my 3 takeaways with Nick Shaw. Takeaway number 1 is you dictate your life. One of his pillars in his book, I think his pillar number 2, was the internal locus of control, which essentially means that I feel like I dictate the outcomes of my life. And the way that he applied this was in the beginning of 2020, nobody had any idea what was going to happen. Nobody had any idea COVID was going to happen. And then Nick's wife got diagnosed with breast cancer. And then right after that, she got diagnosed with breast cancer, I think end of January or February. And then beginning of March, COVID hit. Everything gets shut down. He's got 2 young kids. He could have easily thrown a pity party, right? And complained about it, and nobody really would have blamed him for complaining because his wife got breast cancer at the same time COVID hit, at the same time his kids got to be homeschooled, and he's got to take on a lot of this responsibility. And I didn't even mention that he has this business that he's running with over 40 employees, and he's got to figure out how he can keep everybody in their jobs and keep paying them and all of this sort of thing. But he was like, no, I'm not going to throw a pity party. I'm going to start taking control and dictating my life. So a few months into this, he started writing every single day. He's like, you know what I can control is I'm going to spend more time at home so I can write every single day. And he wrote every single day and ended up coming out with this book, Fit for Success, which is an awesome book, quick read, but such an inspiring read. And so he had this internal locus of control, really believing that he could control the outcomes of his life. And I talked in the interview with him about how else can we apply this, because I know I apply it in regards to nutrition. I want to know that if anything ever happened, like disease-wise or something happened with my health, that I didn't cause the outcome. Now, obviously, there are certain health issues that you can't control. There are certain diseases that you can't control. They just come up for whatever reason. So I want to know that I feed my body with the right nutrition so that if something did happen, it wasn't because of what I ate. It wasn't because of my actions. It was because of something that I couldn't control. So I want to believe that I control the outcomes of my life. And that way I'm going to take action so much differently. Takeaway number 2 is focus on what you can control. Kind of a little bit of a branch off of takeaway number 1. Again, focus on what you can control. And this is so applicable to all times, but especially with COVID, right? When you're worried about something, ask yourself, is this something I can control, or is this something that I can't control? Now, sometimes there's a middle ground. Sometimes you can control a certain amount, and then you should take action on controlling that certain amount. And then once you've taken action on controlling that, forget about it. And the best example I can give right now that's super applicable is the COVID-19 vaccine, right? I think a lot of people are worried on whether or not I should take this thing, whether or not it's going to have side effects. What's the long-term effects going to be of this vaccine? You can't control the long-term effects. What you can control is your research into it and your decision. So do your due diligence, do your research, then decide whether or not you're going to take it. If you're not going to take it, fine, don't take it. If you are going to take it, then take it and don't worry about it because you can't control the outcomes down the road. So you want to make sure you focus on what you can control. And the way that Nick applied this during quarantine is he taught his daughter how to read during quarantine. He taught his kids how to ride their bikes. He wrote this book. There's so many different things that he did to take control of the things that he could control. Takeaway number 3 is start small. I talk about this in my fitness goal setting because it's one of the things that we as humans have the most struggle doing, because when we start off with a goal, we're super motivated when we set that goal, right? Oh, it's like, I want to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm super motivated right at the beginning because I just had the idea and I'm super stoked and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then we think like, okay, we're going to do all these things in order to accomplish this. But it's like, no, don't go in with a full head of steam, full guns a-blazing. Start small, because starting small allows you to build a habit and then you can optimize it as you go. I think so many people have been conditioned to believe in any goal, whether it's fitness, whether it's professional, whatever it is, that you have to be perfect in order to progress towards that goal or in order to achieve that goal. But one thing that I've seen in fitness, in order to achieve your fitness goals, is like, no, you don't have to be perfect. You have to be really good in certain areas, and you also have to self-correct really quickly. But you need to start small because that's what allows things to be sustainable. And the way that you start small is you're like, okay, what have I been willing and able to do up to this point in my life? Now I'm going to start doing a little bit more than that, a little bit more than what you've been willing and able to do in the past. Again, guys, my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is you dictate your life. Have that internal locus of control, that I control the outcomes of my life. Take action believing that. Takeaway number 2 is focus on what you can control. If you're worried about something, if you're fearful of something, ask yourself, can I control this? Can I not control this? What of it can I control? What of it can I not control? And then spend your energy where you can control and then let go, surrender the outcome of what you can't control. And then takeaway number 3 was start small. If you're heading into a goal, ask yourself, okay, here's my strategy for this goal. It needs to be a little bit more than what I've been willing and able to do in the past. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Nick Shaw. Again, if you have not listened to it yet, you've got to go back and listen to it. We jived. It was so much fun, and he's just an awesome guy, and I can't wait to continue to connect with him down the road in the future. If you're not subscribing to the Monday Motivation Trio 111 newsletter, go to nickcarrier.com/111-newsletter. Make sure you guys have that internal locus of control because you do dictate your life. Focus on what you can control and start small, because these are the things that if you implement daily are going to get closer, or are going to allow you to get closer and closer to your best you.